Everybody. Thanks for bearing with my 9-minute video yesterday. Today's will be much shorter. I promise. All right, we're going to talk about two different types of graphical representations today. Your job at the end of the day will not be to create one of those, but you're going to come up with a really good statistical question that you can ask all of your friends and then build a graphical representation on it. So I want you to kind of think back. On Monday, I'm going to send out instructions on how to go ahead and create a Google form, and then we'll share it through Google Classroom to your friends so we can get as many responses as possible. But let's first talk about specifically these two different kinds of graphical representations. The first one is a stem and leaf plot. Okay, so this is going to be really reserved, much like some of the other ones that we've looked at already for quantitative data. Okay, so we're going to go back to the 2014 Winter Olympics and the 2016 Summer Olympics. And we're talking about medals won again, okay? And there's like 80 countries won medals, 44 won at least 5 medals. So really looking at that data and trying to analyze performance by country. And I'm going to go ahead and slide on down here to the stem and plot, or stem and leaf plot definition. So a stem and leaf plot is a graphical method used to represent ordered numerical data. So it puts it in order. And once that data is ordered, the stems and leaves are determined. So typically the stem is the digits, all the digits except for the one to the right. Like, so your ones, typically it'll be your ones digit, right? So any digit that's not that last digit on the right. Okay, those are going to be your stems. So, and then the other one is going to be your leaves. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to show you what this means, right? So your stem column is always going to be on the left, and you're going to take all your stems or all your tens and hundreds columns, and you're just going to list them down. So I have all these different observations, right? I have some that had less than 10. I have some that between 10 and 20, some between 20 and 30. There were none between 30 and 40, and some between 40 and 50. There was one in between 50 and 60, one between 60 and 70, and one between 70 and 120. And then there's one right here that was 120 and higher. Okay, so how do we know how many there are? Well, I take my stem, which is 0 in the tens place, and add it to the observation in the ones place. So we had 5 countries. All right, so we had 1, 2, 3 countries that got exactly 5 medals. We had 3 countries that got 6 medals, 3 countries that got 7 medals, 5 countries that had 8 medals, and 2 countries that had 9 medals, because I have 0 in the ones column and 0 in the tens column, 5 in the ones column, and I can apply that to any of the numbers. And we have all these countries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13 plus 2 more, 15 countries got between 0 and 10 medals. Now I'm going to where there's a 1 in the tens place. 1 and a 0 is 10. So 3 countries got 10 medals. A 1 in the tens and a 1 in the ones is 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 country won 11 medals, and so on and so on. And if you go all the way down, we have in the 40s, 41 medals, 42 medals, 42 medals. So there's 3 countries that had medals in the 40s. And then all the way down here to the end where we have 12 in the tens column, which is really 120 plus the 1. One country won 121 medals. That was the United States in Brazil. So this is how you use a stem and a leaf. You take your larger numbers or place values and you make them stems. And then every observation, you take that last digit in the right, which is usually the ones column, and that's where you list out your observations. And if we counted all these up, it would be 44 different countries, and because that's how many they said had more than 5, all right, or 5 or more. Now, let's take a look at something that's a little bit more familiar, a histogram. Histogram's a bar diagram. We're using it here for numbers of floors. So you're looking at number of buildings and then number of floors. So there are no buildings listed here that are 0 to 10. All right, they started between 10 and 20. And so you look here and there's about 8 buildings between 10 and 20 floors. There's 27 about buildings between 20 and 30 floors. Between 30 and 40 floors, there's 16 buildings. Between 40 and 50, there's exactly 5. It looks like there's 4 between 50 and 60. Okay, It works great for that. You can also use categorical data. I'm thinking about that question that I asked you guys about what you miss most in your life from the pandemic shutdowns. And we could easily put team sports, school, hanging with friends, church, movie theaters, all those different things in there as categories. So histograms work great with categorical data. Stem and leaf really work only with quantitative data. And these are two of the observations that you can make. Now, to finish for the day, come up with a really good statistical question. Figure out if you want to ask a categorical data or a statistical question, and then don't do what I did with my third question. In my third question, I went ahead and asked you guys this, and it was a mess. What is your favorite movie? All right. And I got hundreds of responses from you guys, which was fantastic. But don't do what I did. Look at this. None of them are the same. There's two Toy Stories that are printed, but the way I put it in and the openness of it, there was just really hard for us to collect useful data. You know, there's too many options here. All it is a list of cool movies. So if you're going to use categorical, make sure you give them a number of categories to choose from, or you're going to end up like this question, and you're going to try to have to graph this, and you're going to have the graph's going to be 5 pages wide because there's so many different observations or answers to these questions. So pick a good one for categorical, list your categories, or do something quantitative. Have some fun with it. You're going to send it out to everybody on Monday, and Tuesday we're going to work with it. Look for a quick tutorial video on Google Forms on Monday, and then we'll give you guys a chance to put them out there and answer all the questions. Have a great weekend, everybody.